Now we go for tuple, that is also similar to list. We see details about tuple. Tuple is another sequence data type that is similar to list. It's a collection which is ordered and unchangeable. It allows duplicate members. Tuples can be considered as read-only lists and occupies less memory compared to lists. Items are separated by commas and created using parentheses and cannot be updated. We see the tuple creation. We can create tuple by writing elements separated by commas inside parentheses. See the syntax, tuple name equals to empty parentheses. This is empty tuple, A equals to empty tuple. Examples we see here, with one element, we want to create a tuple B equals to 10 and C equals to 10, comma. With multiple elements, we can see D equals to 10, 20, 30, 40, and E equals to 10, 20, minus 50, 21.3, and Python. Similar to list, tuples can be created, but the difference is we use parentheses to create the tuple and square braces to create the list. Next, we see tuple index. Similar to list, tuple index is also start from 0 onwards and written inside square braces. If you see the tuple A and contains are 10, 20, minus 50, 21.3, and Python. A of 0 represents the first element, A of 1 represents second element, A of 2 represents third element, and A of 3 represents 21.3, that's fourth element, and A of 4 represents fifth element, that is Python. Similarly, tuples can also have the last element index as -1, and before that -2, -3, -4, and -5, and so on. We can access tuple using this index. Print A of 0 prints the first element of the tuple, and print A of 1 prints the second element of the tuple. Print A of 2 represents prints the third element of the tuple. Print A of 3 is the 21.3, that is the fourth element of the tuple, and print A of 4 prints the last element of the tuple slicing. Similar to list, we can retrieve a piece of the tuple that contains a group of elements. Slicing is useful to retrieve a range of elements. The syntax, if you observe, new tuple name equals to tuple name, start, stop, and step size. If you observe the example, the tuple A equals 10, 20, minus 50, 21.3, and Python. B equals to, we are extracting the elements from the tuple A of 0, 3, 1. Here 1 is the step size, and 3 is the stop, and 0 is the start. So from 0 to 3, that means up to 3, it will take 0, 1, 2. It will take, that is the 10, 20, and minus 50, it will take. And the step size is 1, so only one element it will consider, 10, 20, and minus 50. And if you see B equals to A of 0 to 3, it also prints 10, 20, and minus 50. 1 we did not give here, that the step size default value is 1, so no need to mention, and both the statements are same. B equals to A of 3, that means from starting position to up to 3, it will print the values, and B equals to A of this colon represents all the elements of the tuple. See that output B equals to A of 0 to 3, 1, that is same, and here also 0 up to 3, it is giving 0, 1, 2. These three statements are same, giving the same output, and the last is giving the total tuple. Tuple concatenation. Similar to the list, we can also concatenate the tuple. For that, we use the plus operator. Example, if you see A equals 10, 20, that is one tuple, and B equals 1 to 3, another tuple. If you write A plus B, then it will be concatenated, and the output is concatenation of that two tuples, that is 10, 20, 30, and 1, 2, 3. Tuple deletion. As tuples are unmutable, you cannot delete a single element of the tuple, but you can delete the entire tuple. For that, simply you have to write del space A, then it will delete the entire tuple. Tuple repetition. Star operator, that is asterisk operator, is used to repeat the elements of tuple. Similar to list, you can have the usage of star operator. Suppose B is the tuple and having the elements 1, 2, 3. If you would like to print, or if you want to have this tuple multiple times, that is 3 times if you would like to have, so we can write B asterisk and 3. So the result you can see in the output, that is the list. The tuple 1, 2, 3 is repeated thrice, 3 times. So that is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and stored in B, and stored in result. Tuple containing list. It is possible to create tuples which contain mutable objects such as list. For example, if you observe T is a tuple, it could contain list as elements. So first element, it contained a list as 1, 2, 3, and another element in the tuple, it contains another list, that is apple, pear, and orange. You can print that tuple and it will give that tuple and the list inside. We can also use tuple package and unpacking, and we can see that it is possible to pack values to a tuple and unpack values from a tuple. If you see the example, if T is a tuple and having the elements apple, 1 and 100, we can pack them. Suppose pack and unpack, we can see here. Here, print of T gives the total tuple in the tuple format, that is apple, comma 1, comma 100. And if you want to unpack the elements, these 3 elements are there. You would like to store these 3 elements in different variables, that is x, y, and z. We have to write x comma y comma z equals to t. Then this first element will go to the x, and second element will go to the y, and third element will be stored in the z. Output, we can see the first print of t is printed the tuple apple 1 comma 100, and next print, that is print of x, printed apple, and print of y given 1 as output, and print of z is given 100 as the output. Tuple built-in functions. Similar to the list, a few functions we can see here. Length of the tuple gives the total length of the tuple, and max of tuple return item from the tuple with maximum value, and minimum of tuple returns item from the tuple with the minimum value. You see the example of this length of tuple. The tuple 1 is ABCD 147, 2.43, and Tom. It contains 4 elements. The length is 4 if given, and the max tuple, if you have the elements 1200, 147, 2.43, and 1.12 is a tuple, and if you write max of the tuple name, it will give the maximum value existing in that tuple, it is 1200. Similarly, the minimum value will be printed for this if you use min of that tuple name. Tuple sequence returns a list into a tuple. Inside a tuple, you can convert this list into a tuple. Returns a list into a tuple. So there is a list ABCD 147, 2.4 Tom, and you would like to convert this list into tuple. Simply have to write tuple of that list name. So if you print this tuple is converted tuple, you could see here. Tuple constructor, use a tuple constructor to make a tuple. Here also, the apple, banana, cherry is there in a double rounded brackets. We have to put this tuple and tuple inside this tuple places. If you put the sequence, whatever we are having, that will be converted to this tuple. The output is coming as a tuple. We can pass tuple to function. We can pass a tuple to a function by calling function similar to the list. We can have one tuple, that is 10, 20, 30, and Python. We can call the function show, and we can pass this tuple as argument to this show function. Here, show of t, the t is argument. It will consider this tuple 10, 20, 30, and Python, and it will print the tuple, and similarly it will print give the same tuple as output. Nested tuple, you can see the finally a tuple within another tuple is called nested tuple or nesting of a tuple. Here A is one tuple, and inside that 50, 60 is another tuple. So 50 and 60 are stayed in the tuple as another element. So this is called a nested tuple. Is tuple within another tuple. B is can also represent that 2 elements in a tuple as another tuple, that is b equals 50 and 60. Or I can also mention in the A tuple as 10, 20, 30, and B. Similarly, this tuple can have another tuples as elements, that is 10, 20, 30 is one tuple, and 40, 50, 60 is another tuple, and these 2 tuples are existing in A as 2 elements. The representation and is follows. In this session, we have seen list and tuples. List is an ordered sequence of items. Lists are similar to arrays in C, and one difference is that all the items in a list can be of different types, whereas in arrays we used to have similar kind of data type, but whereas in list we can have different types of data. Lists are ordered and changed. Further, if you see tuple is another sequence data type that is similar to list. Tuple is a collection which is ordered and unchanged. Here the references for this topic are taken from Timing Python by Programming, Kanna Book Publishing. The author is Jiva Jose. And also we're taking contents from W3 Schools, Python lists, Python tuples, and also from few contents from NPTEL videos, that is the joy of computing using Python, and programming data structures and algorithms using Python. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.